contested catch and to go down with it. That is why you take a guy like Kyler Murray, number one. It's also why you're willing to make a trade for DeAndre Hopkins. Guys that can do things that you just can't explain. It was special. They created their own Hail Mary. Kudos to them on the play of the year.
It's why you don't give away DeAndre Hopkins either. But anyway, look at the win probability shifts. It was unbelievable. At the 2-minute warning, the Bills had a win probability at 29%. It swung to 97% after Stephon Diggs' touchdown. Then the Cardinals had a crazy 97% win probability swing after that DeAndre Hopkins touchdown catch. Unbelievable. But you know what I noticed, Marcus? They're in the end zone. It's like DeAndre Hopkins was much bigger than everybody else. So what did the Bills do wrong there?
Come on, Sean McDermott. You know you're supposed to have a big fella back there. A guy like me, who was back there when I was in college for the jump ball, or a big tight end on your team, or something like that. Everybody knows that in the back of the end zone on those type of plays,
you ain't got
that
bunnies.
You're supposed to put a big fella back there to make sure they can get up and contest the football. DeAndre Hopkins is one of the better contested wide receivers we've ever seen in this league. And he doesn't put anybody back there over 6 foot.
He would have done this to you.
That's a fail on the part of Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills. If I was back there at 6'5" with my 37-inch vertical back in my heyday, that wouldn't have been made. That play wouldn't have been made.
Credentials.
Mina, what do you think about that?
Well, now I just want to see a jump off between Marcus Spears and Dan Orlovsky wearing Gumby outfit. But also, why does this have to be about the big men? Okay, why can't we praise Kyler Murray for that throw? I feel like I have to start a segment on this show called Little Man Ballin'. Okay, hosted by Mina Kimes. I'm going to feature Kyler Murray. I'm going to feature Cole Beasley, my fellow little man who was ballin' in that game. Forget about the big guys. It was the little ones who made the big plays.
I love that point. By the way, I just want to follow up, Dan. You heard what Marcus said. He was the guy. He was the jump guy in the end zone multiple times at LSU.
Yeah.
What do you got on that?
Hop would have done this to him. That's what Hop would have done.
Please.
No, but here, this is what I've got to say because I'm wearing green for a specific reason. Dustin Johnson, congratulations on your Masters win yesterday. And Mina's decided to, take a couple shots at me today. She called me a pickle. She called me Gumby. Mina, you know I think you're brilliant, right? Probably as brilliant as the smartest coach ever in the history of the NFL, Bill Belichick. But I do want you to know that that's not the only thing you have in common.
What are we doing?
Maybe you have some facial expressions the same as well. Maybe you guys respond to some certain situations the same way. So you want to take your shots at me, that's fine. But I'm not above taking my shots back. I look good in Dustin Johnson's green jacket.
Wow, yeah. You'd also look good at Enterprise Rent-A-Car today, Dan. All right, speaking of Bill Belichick, let's talk about the madman, the genius himself. Because while it was monsooning yesterday, as we discussed, my friend Doug Kayed is a reporter who covers the Patriots.
Let's get back to some Week 10 action from last night. Ravens taking on the Patriots. And yet, singing in the rain, pretty appropriate. It was, how do you say, blustery out there, if you will? Let's pick it up late in the second quarter. Look at that rain. Patriots down 10-7. Newton to Jacoby Myers.
This is a great play design. First of all, Jacoby Myers has got to make sure that he's behind Cam Newton so it's a lateral. This is well done. And then this is actually really good coverage by Baltimore. This is just awesome by Rex Burkhead. Football player Rex Burkhead tracking that ball, sliding underneath, touchdown New England.
Myers was a QB in his high school days, so there you go. Third quarter, Patriots lead 13-10. Damian Harris breaks through the hole.
No, that's Cam Newton. That's a touchdown for New England. We saw that. That's that week one quarterback sweep. Great play design to attack man coverage.
Well, Damian Harris, I wanted to get him in, but he wasn't there. How about Lamar Jackson finding Willie Snead?
This is really good. You got cover three, so you're going to get Snead from one side of the field to the other. Move the free safety, get it over that linebacker. A good red zone touchdown for Lamar and the Ravens.
Ravens down 23-17, under 10 seconds to left, 4th and 6. The rain coming down harder, and Jackson to J.K. Dobbins, but Danny drops it.
I mean, if he catches that, game's still over. They got to go 70 yards in 1 second in that weather. So credit New England. This is a great win by them.
Yeah, the weather certainly factored into this one. I mean, there's no doubt about it. When you watch that, it was coming down like crazy, Mina. But what did you make of the play calling for the Ravens?
Well, I want to talk about that, Laura, because the weather makes it a little hard for me to criticize the execution, right? I mean, it was raining so hard out there. I feel bad going after, I don't know, the Ravens wide receivers for some of their drops, or Matt Skura, who was snapping that football like he was a bridesmaid at a wedding, throwing the bouquet. Lamar was just hoping it landed somewhere in his vicinity. But the coaches are not above reproach. The rains shouldn't affect what they were doing, and I wanted to highlight a couple of the decisions they made on 4th down in the 3rd quarter. Okay, so you got Lamar Jackson, it's pouring rain. For some reason, they thought it was a good idea to snap it directly to Mark Ingram and shotgun. Ingram hasn't played in weeks, so sure, dial up the Wildcat, even though Lamar Jackson's your quarterback. That befuddled me. And then later on in the game, in the 4th quarter, again faced with 4th and short, they didn't go for it, and that proved costly for them, and I was honestly confused by it. Look, this game, when the weather is this bad, I really truly believe you can only take away so much from it. But we've seen decisions like this all year long for Baltimore, and when the margin of error is small, and it is small for them because the offense isn't as explosive, these decisions can cost football games.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson did comment post-game about the predictable play calling that he had referenced before. He said that wasn't an issue. But, Dan, what do you think has changed from last season's MVP performance to what we're seeing the current version of Lamar Jackson?
I mean, last year was a little bit of utopia, right? Like, you had this offensive line. It was just dominant at the line of scrimmage. And so you could do whatever you want. You always dictated the defense. Then you had this really unique scheme that hadn't been seen in the NFL, certainly in a long time, and how you defend it. You had this personnel that was so difficult to match up with as well. I've hit on those tight ends for such a long time now. So it was a lot of aspects. I don't want to discredit the MVP season, but it was like you were set up to constantly succeed as a quarterback, right? And now this season, we've just seen small little cracks in that utopia. The loss of a Hall of Famer guard, the loss of that 3rd tight end. Now your left tackle's out. Now your best blocking tight end is out. And so there's just these small little cracks at what was allowing you to be so successful. And so the challenge for Lamar is, how do you replicate the MVP season without that environment that was so built upon, or so built for success? And so it's got to be a little bit more better coaching. Lamar's got to play better. This is when the Ravens need MVP Lamar to show up, and so all eyes are on him for the remainder of this season and how he performs.
Well, I'm not about to absolve the Baltimore Ravens of anything. Listen, I know it was inclement weather, but what are the Baltimore Ravens known for? And what did they do against the Pittsburgh Steelers without Marshall Yonder and their left tackle being out? The New England Patriots just ran through the Baltimore Ravens. That's what happened, y'all. Like, we can break this game down. We can talk about Greg Roman and his plan and Lamar and the rain and all of that. The New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels said, we are going to hand the football off to Damian Harris. We are going to let Cam run, and we're going to let Burkhead run, and we are going to beat the Baltimore Ravens at doing what the Baltimore Ravens are supposed to do to people. I'm with you, Mina, as far as the Wildcat with Ingram and the play design and all of that. We all know where the problems lie with the Baltimore Ravens. But in inclement weather like this, who would we have thought would have had the advantage? The Ravens. The New England Patriots flipped the script and ran through the Baltimore Ravens yesterday, y'all.
Speaking of flipping the script for the New England Patriots, new on NFL Live right now, this just in from Bill Belichick, and he was asked about something related to cooking, I think, or one meal that he would cook. He said that he would make Caesar salad, grilled steak, put together the crepe Suzette. He learned how to do it at Middleton's restaurant that he worked at in Annapolis. He had to make it tableside, trying not to set the customers on fire. Now, just for those of you who may not know what a crepe Suzette is, it's one of